Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Here goes another one. Back at it. Like a mother Mac addict. Guard. You can't stop it. As you can tell by that thumbnail right there, look at the marrana. It's ugly, huh? Ugly situations for ugly times, right? In a menudo style and direct fashion, there's a new epidemic, gente. There's something that's not only touching Califas, but it's touching every part of the world, right? But especially in Califas, because this is where I'm from. This is what we're going to speak on. Now, trip out. When things first hit your plato, when they first hit your plate, you eat it up. You know, hey, Sasuke, what is that? That cat food, I got to try it, right? You got to try it just to get a little taste, just to see if that's the route you want to go, just to see if you like it. In the drug world, that's what it is, man. You know, everyone's going to get a little taste of a little something, and it's becoming an epidemic, this new thing, this fent, right? Something people get a grasp on and they just can't let go of. Now, I understand the situations. I understand everybody's got to get their feria however they get it, and I don't knock the next man. Never will knock the hustle behind their muscle. That's not my get down. But when it's starting to touch home, when it's starting to touch the familias or the friends that I know, the situation gets real ugly. It gets real dirty real quick. Now, what I wanted to speak on was, you know, people are unaware. If you're closed in your home, if you're not really paying attention to what's going on around you, or, you know, you watch the news or whatever the case may be, you know, you don't believe everything that you see or everything that you hear. But at the same time, man, it's time to relax, let the rhymes tax, and trip out while the doubling max. Orale, guard! There's something going on. You know, you see these two people on this thumbnail. These were victims, and they caused other victims in the community because of their callousness, because of their not caring, because of their greediness and only caring about themselves and getting involved in something they shouldn't have. Now, trip out, the story goes like this, and then I'm going to tie it into a whole lot. You know, when I was incarcerated, I was told as a norteño we could not indulge in hard drugs, right? And I stood firm in that. I was a true believer in that because I seen familia all around me falling. Boom, bam, bam, overdose, gone. See you later, bye-bye, hasta luego, right? Because they couldn't overcome this disease or whatever they had. You know, whatever they had, they couldn't just let it go. And I watched familia go through it for decades, man. I had a tío that just wouldn't put the head down. I had a tía that didn't know what the spoon, she didn't even know what a spoon was if it wasn't black, right? This is just how it was. This was my personal experience. This was my family. And I'm sure a lot of other familias go through the same thing, you know, but seeing them deteriorate right before my eyes, seeing them succumb, you know, to this disease or whatever you want to call it, it was a hard pill to swallow. It was hard to watch this. You know, as a young kid, you know, I admired my tío. My tío laced me up. My tío was the picture perfect norteño in my eyes. The way he looked, the way he struggled, his realness. He wasn't scared of nada or nobody, nothing. You know, this vato encompassed the true nature of the struggle of a norteño. He was exactly what I pictured when I thought about the cause. My tía, on the other hand, was something totally different. She was just a straight up G. No, MC8. The G was in her, right? She was a G, in and out of prison, doing time. She's the one that I said was locked up with Pearl Fernandez, came face to face and had a great conversation with her, right? So I was getting, I had some other stuff happen, I can't call it. But one thing I do know is for sure is she in my life and my tío in my life were the ones that I looked towards in the criminal element. Okay, now not the best of people to take advice from, not the best of people to be role models, I guess you would say. But at the same time, these were mine, okay? And I love them very much, and I will continue forever until I'm down there again and I'm up wherever I go. You know what I mean? Where I'm at is when I get there. But it doesn't matter. At the same time, in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to rock for them. And they definitely fell on the wayside because of what they did throughout their lifetime. Now, they chose their path, just like we choose ours. And I'm not here to deter anyone from their past. If you're on the left, then I'm going to rock right. Okay, but being incarcerated, you know, I was totally against hard drugs. And I started to see them be used in front of me by my people. And I wasn't down with that. And of course, that put me in a wreck in a certain situation where I was pushed out. Get out of here, puto. You know what I mean? And it's cool. So this guy can rock with that. I can live with that. It was also a hard pill to swallow. It was also a hard thing to let go of. But I let go of it because I had no choice, first of all. And second of all, you know, I was just in a bad situation, gente. It's very unfortunate, you know, to lose a soldado the caliber of myself, you know, for a cause that I truly believed in. I couldn't believe it. But I dealt with it swiftly, blue, right? And I did what I had to do. Now, you got to understand this. I get out. I start maintaining. I live my life. I do what I'm supposed to do. I go to work for my family, for my kids, for myself, gente, first and foremost. If you can't help yourself, ain't no one else going to help you, right? And I start to notice a new epidemic. Something new hits the block, right? I was just all the tweakers. I was just all, you know, geeking. You know, I have homeboys like that. I had one homeboy got so high, man, he walked around with a feather in his head for 8 years, right? So I know what it is to lose a homeboy and them never come back. They just get spun and they go on a mission to which there is no return. It happens. Every vato has experienced it. But in certain situations now, they're not even giving the chance to really go on a mission. They're just, boom, one hit, too legit to quit, right? They're gone. This new thing, this fent, is destroying lives and destroying familias. Now, at the same time, it is going to be what it is. Whatever anyone chooses to do in their life, that's their own agenda, that's their own pleito, that's their own get down. I can't stop no one from doing them. Neither am I going to be hating on the man who's distributing it or the man who's putting it out there. Hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm just saying we need to become aware, gente. There's a new poison in town, okay? There's a new thing that doesn't, it doesn't care if you're a gang member, from what water you're from, if you're hardcore. It doesn't matter. It's going to get you. It's the culebra, right? It's the snake that will creep up on you and bite you. Sas. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, these two individuals in this thumbnail, it's a trippy story. They got so smacked back on this stuff, they left it in an open area for their child. And their child literally got into the mix and succumbed to it. Now, I see these stories every day, but what stood out about this story was the way that these people chose to not care. You know, when you're on drogas, when you're not thinking in your right state of mind, you don't care about anyone else but what's in that spoon. You don't care about anyone else around you. Your children, your family, you know, your friends, all that. Saying, hey, put that away. Hey, guard, can you take these over there? Right? All that can go over there, and you're only worried about what's right in front of you. And that's a very bad thing. Because at the same time, you know, our children cry out for us. Dad, what? I need cereal. I need a shot, but I can't call it, right? No. See, that should never be the conversation. It should be, let me see if we got milk. If not, I'm going to go get some. It shouldn't even be a hesitation. You know, as brown people, as proud people, raza, Africano brothers, even the Woods brothers sprinkle in every video, every content. They get theirs, right? We all should get up off our lazy asses and go get that leche so our kids can eat their cereal. You know, they depend on us for food, for shelter, for whatever. You know, if you're leaving things in their area, not only are you considered a baboso, but you're considered a degenerate in the fact that you have put your kids in harm's way. And that, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is just like a weirdo. That vato is very unbecoming of himself, and they need to go somewhere to which they're out no return. Órale. Now, I remember my tío once telling me, mijo, never indulge in something you're not ready to indulge in. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, you might think you're ready to involve yourself in something, whether it be gangs, the barrio, the head of the spoon, whatever. If you're not ready, there's no way to get ready. You know that old saying, stay ready so I don't have to get ready? Well, some vatos just ain't ready anyways. They don't even know how to get there to that point to be ready. Okay? Nobody knows what life has in store for them until it shows up at their doorstep or until it happens. Then it's up to you to decide what you're going to do and to be either about it or to do underneath. The offense, defense. No one knows. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Órale ese, right? That's just how it is. Now, this epidemic that is sweeping the nation is an unfortunate thing. You know, I've had friends of mine where their family members are gone like that overnight. You know, I'm seeing homeboys that I knew back in the days that were righteous dudes. Yeah, they had a little problem. Spend some la tira every once in a while, throw them a couple $, you know, because I didn't want to see them scratching themselves and stuff. But they were always fine, homes. I knew I wasn't helping them much, but I was doing the best I could. But they were always fine. Now they aren't, because they're not here no more. See, this new thing that's sweeping the nation, that's becoming, I guess, the choice, you know, the choice, droga, is definitely hurting more people than it's helping. Now, I understand why people do the things they do. They might be depressed, you know. A lot of autos are locked up, incarcerated. They get into the little binky because, you know, they just want to forget about their problems, forget about where they're at, forget about what's going on, and just do their tiempo and just kick back and relax. You know, I understand it. You know, I never indulge just based on my tío and my tía were my learning lesson. See, I believe everybody needs to see something in real life to learn. Anybody can lace you up and tell you anything. I educated a lot of individuals. I would educate them on the plight of being a norteño. I would educate them on the plight of the cause and the struggle. Why we did what we did. Why it was so important to establish yardas. Why it was so important to keep that fucking shirt off instead of on when people told you to. Why it was to keep that chin up, homes, instead of down. Why you had to look at a man in the eyes and let him know exactly where you were coming from. Even if you had butterflies in your stomach, you still had to look him in his eyes and let him know. Why, if there was 2 or 3 of you on the yard, you ain't going nowhere, homes, until you're pushed up out of there. There was so many different things that I indoctrinated these youngsters or these people with because I was a true believer in that. And still am. I believe everybody needs their steak. I believe everybody needs their piece of the yarda. I believe that everybody needs to go out there and get it for themselves. I'll never stray away from that message or that cause, right? But one thing I will say is for sure is, but when it came to the droga on the yarda, I was a firm believer, and that only clouds the mind and it hinders the soldado. Okay, if you're not in your right frame of mind and you can't think, what happens? I'm gonna tell you what happens. You come up short. Because there's individuals that are always plotting and they're very aware and they know exactly what time it is. And one little thing like nodding out could make the difference with your life and many others. See, you can't only think about yourself. You have to think about those around you. You have to think about only being as strong as the weakest link. You have to think about, you know, if you're on poste and you miss something, homes, that could be the one flaw in the chink in the armor, homes. Because you missed that pedazo being passed, guess what? Now someone's going to be hit. It's going to be a domino effect. You're going to be on lockdown for years. And your family's going to struggle because they're not going to be able to visit you. And you're going to struggle. And next thing you know, you're going to get in the binks again. And it's just going to be bad. Now this Fed, man, is running rapid all over the world. You know, what started out as something small and no one had even heard about. I'm sure it's a household name now. Everybody knows about it. You know, it's kind of like SIDA in the 80s. You know, at first it was like, that's out there. That's just for the chiros and the whoop-de-whoop or whatever, the wap-de-wops, right? And then all of a sudden you have tios that are dying from it. Oh, Spence on a tira. It doesn't hit home, huh? Orale, Magic Johnson. I'm telling you, this is how it is. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Oh, it's placed here by secret societies. And I'm not into all that, man. You know, if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. At the same time, that's not what I'm here to practice what that preaches, right? I'm here to speak realness. Period. Plain and simple. One thing I'm going to tell you for sure is it's affected people. And I'm going to tell you how it affected my homeboy. So I got a camarada, a good homeboy that I grew up with. Down as vato for the barrio. Never hesitated on nothing. One of those vatos, knock on his door. Hey, bro, guess what? What? Vatos are tripping. Well, so are we. You know, one of them type of individuals. Didn't ask too many questions, so he didn't have to tell too many lies. Wouldn't rock with just anybody. He had that few chosen that he knew how to get down with. And chose to get down, then go back to his familia and take Kuklinski. Wasn't nothing happening. You know, that's the type of homeboy that I rocked with. That's the type that he was. Unfortunately, you know, situations change. And the situation that changed in his life was his old lady. See, he had an old lady that passed. She didn't pass because she was in the mix. She didn't pass because she was out there cheating on him or doing bad things. Now, they had a beautiful relationship. The type of relationship, every time, damn, man, she got hella ass, but at the same time, bro, she's cool. One of those relationships, like, I was envious of it, but not to the point of being, you know, trying to mac at her or nothing like that. Was had, right? I'm a YouTuber. None of that. It was more so just, man, the homeboy's really doing that. I hope one day I can find a diamond in the rough to make it shine. Because he done did that. He done found him a diamond, a ruby, and an emerald. Oh, my. right? Lions, tigers, and bears. Wow. He's getting this row on, right? Now, one thing I can say for sure is the macularization was real, and he definitely did that. So when she passed, you know, on the birthing table, I remember it was a big thing, man. It was a big thing because she was a friend, and unfortunately, you know, it happens. And it was a sad thing. And to see him spiral out of control, to see him head down that dark abyss, man, was even uglier. Because this was a homeboy that was always smiling, always happy, quick to put the clip in if he had to, quick to rep the barrio at all times. But at the same time, man, to see a homeboy take a loss like this, an elbow, you know, it wasn't something that we were used to. How can I tell the next man, hey, just let it go, Holmes? No, I can't tell him that. You know, in his own time, all we could do was be there for him. And I guess we weren't enough. Those of us few homeboys that he still rocked with, we weren't enough, right? So he chose to get in that spoon. He chose to get into this new stuff called Fit. And you guys know what it is, man. For YouTube purposes, I'm not going to say that. And I am at no point in time, YouTube, am I giving out medical advice, because I don't do that. But what I will say is this. He chose to get involved in it, and his life spun out of control to the point where we didn't even want to be around him anymore. Hey, get away from me, what the? You think, first of all, like Johnny says, you got maggots coming out of your leg, that's it, and I'll get down. And also, you know what I mean, you're a cutthroat now. Now, you know, you're trying to come up off us, the same people that helped you out. Very bad. Well, just recently he passed, you know. He passed due to that. And his life, we're talking about someone who had 2 lives. Someone whose life was picture perfect, man. Of course, he didn't have the greatest Harley or the best house or the Mercedes Benz, but he had everything he needed. Or the Honda Accord, it ran good, right? He had everything that he needed, and he was doing great. And one little thing like that, you know, losing a family member, losing your wife, you know, can trigger something like this. Now, a lot of people do a lot of things for a lot of stupid reasons. You know, I understood his plight and why he did that. You know, it wasn't the greatest thing to do, but that's what the route he chose. He'll always be my homeboy to the day I'm with him, you know. But it's just another unfortunate event. And there's been so many different ones of people that I know that one day I go to sleep, the next day I wake up and I'm getting phone calls. It's something we have to be aware of, gente, because it's something that's striking home. Mercifully, it's the new epidemic. You know, in this age, in this day that we live, there's a lot going on. If you guys haven't opened your eyes and noticed, we're having earthquakes every day. It's snowing in places it never snowed. It's raining every day. It's windy. We're having tornadoes back to back to back. China's involved. I don't know what's going on. All I know is the world that we live in, it looks like it's crumbling right under our feet. See, it's bigger than gangs. It's bigger than prison. It's bigger than groups. It's bigger than anything you could think of. This is the world we live in. All of us. The world we rock. Hey, I'm from 18, Holmes. I'm from Playboys. Orale, I'm from Dead End, Merced. Is that right? Well, guess what? There's about to be a hurricane over there. Yes, the wind's blowing, and there ain't going to be no more of that. So we have to be aware and stay up on game. Get your frijoles, get your arroz, get your agua, get your gas. Save up. Prep is a prep, right? Be ready, because I don't know what's happening, but I know one thing is you're not going to find me in the spoon or in the alley over there on Skid Row all tuiqueando, because guess what? I need to be up to par for me and my family, for my kids' sake. Unfortunate situations like these marrana and that baboso that are right there con pinche braids, tapa vanilla, right? Hey, brother, is that a white man with braids, bro? I guess so. You know what I mean? Let him does what he does. Anyways, people like that on that thumbnail right there, you know, didn't care. They were self-indulgent in what they only cared about, and their child passed, you know, due to an OD. It's just a bad situation all the way around. Anyways, this is not here to scare anyone. I'm not here to give anyone advice. I'm not here to tell. All I'm saying is do what you do. Be aware of your surroundings. What they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But guess what? If you don't know what ready is or can't spell it 3 times. I said, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I'm speaking for the woods, brother. Stay ready. And get a good shot of coffee. Shout outs, respects to all the gente, man. I don't mean to scare you this morning, man, but I mean to make you aware. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, you don't have to heed my word. I'm just another voice in the wind. I'm just a brown man trying to get it. But at the same time, man, I want you to get it with me. If you like this, hit that like and subscribe with a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please, heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly and truly believe in. And people, that's trying to make everything better for all involved, man. This stuff's dirty. This stuff's ugly, man. But it's just part of the game. Did you see that thing fly by? What was that? I think that was an orb, huh? Watch that. It was crazy. It was like at 1925. Good Lord. The homies got me. You already know what it is. The gun. Bang, bang, in that fashion. That was a damn orb.